Peace and blessings. Namaste to all light warriors, workers, and everything in between. It is I, Sophie, today, and this is a very, very brief message, and it's concerning fear, okay? And I wanted to bring this out to the collective because to some people, we're in very scary times right now. To others, we're just kind of coasting through because the one thing that I have noticed throughout my entire journey and living and walking this truth is that all fear is rooted in death, okay? Now, you're going to ask me why I am saying this. So I'm going to tell you, we're back to the beginning, all right? People, humanity, most sentient life forms have a fear of the unknown. And that unknown typically happens when we decide to shed this meat suit earth body. There have been attempts through religious systems and everything like that to make you fear death. You have heard it written that the fear of God is the beginning of all wisdom. I am here to tell you that it is the love of God and your neighbor that is the beginning of all wisdom. For God has not given us a spirit of fear, but love, power, and a sound mind, okay? You can find that in 2 Timothy. Why was this important? Because a lot of control was done through the idea of fear. And the reason why is because people did not know what to expect when they leave this realm. So of course we had hells being taught. We also had there's nothing out there being taught, okay? That once you die, that's the end of your experience as well. One of my favorite mentors come from Star Wars. His name is Obi-Wan Kenobi. And when he was face to face with Darth Vader, the one thing that he said that stood out to me the most was, "Strike me down and I'll come back more powerful than you have ever imagined." Those of us who don't have a spirit of fear, this is how we feel, okay? See, the reason why you're able to be controlled is because most people don't have a clear understanding, or they're fearful of what's going to happen to them while they're on this plane of existence. It's easy to pump out fear when you're saying things like, okay, this disease is going to kill you, or you're going to die, or if you can't do this, you're going to die, or if you don't do that, you're going to die, okay? So people make poor decisions and poor judgments based off of fear of death. And it comes across on all different forms, okay? So I'm not just talking about physical death, I'm even talking about death of an idea. As a matter of fact, the fear of failure is built on the death of an idea, something that does not come to full fruition. See, fear is associated with spiritual death, whereas creation is associated with spiritual life and rebirth. All right. So when we're going through these processes of fear, it's because fear reminds you of how vulnerable you really are. All right. So, and we're dealing with fear all across the board. Okay. We're not only dealing with fear from disease or society. We're dealing with fear of the unknown. People used to ask me, what is the ritual or process that you do when you're doing, house cleaning or dealing with negative spirits? And you know what? I have no defined outline on how that is done. I just know that I'm fearless. So when it's time to get things done, I just do it. And I do it because I'm rooted in fearlessness, love, power, faith, and sound mind, okay? So I don't have a set routine to get anything done. I am just very confident with my connection with the divine. And it is that faith and that confidence that get me to move mountains when necessary. And I don't have to do anything to do that, and neither do you. Once you realize that you are connected with the divine and part of the divine, the fearlessness kicks in. You don't have to look for outside information, and you don't have any fear of anything, including death. We who have died before understand that life is continual. We have everlasting life through different levels, different dimensions, different areas of consciousness. So, if you are fearful about anything on this day and age, I would suggest that you get into your prayers and meditations. Connect back with the divine, because at this moment in time, any and everything, especially to you who are part of the 144,000 or part of the chosen ones, the energy that resides in your DNA is way more powerful than any of this energy that is here on the earth. You need to know how to use it boldly, proudly, and strong. And no, it doesn't take a whole bunch of practices to do it. It just takes understanding that you have the power to just say, enough, leave. Do you understand? All fear is rooted in death. And once you get past the fear of dying, nothing else will bother you. Successes, failures, negative energies, demonic energies, they can't touch you. Do you understand? Just because something looks powerful doesn't mean that it is. You have to learn how to command this energy when it is impeding into your space or trying to cause havoc. And you don't have to have a ritual to do it. You just need to know that you can, and you have to speak your truth. See, fear to dark forces is food. And when you are fearful of anything, you actually empower them, and they strip your power from you. The only way to rid a negative energy, a demonic energy, of their power of influence is to strip them from their necessity to cause fear. You will see that that energy gets smaller and smaller and smaller until it finally leaves you alone. And it can be very simple as just saying, I don't believe you. Get out of my space. Do you understand? Things that look intimidating and powerful, more than likely is a ruse to you. Why the necessity to be grandiose or to look scary? You ever see movies in Hollywood and how they portray demonic energies and devils as being so horrific with all of this power that when you are watching it or when you come across somebody that may have a negative energy attached to them, it makes you freak out because you think their head's going to turn around? No. Typically, it's a matter of respect. Okay? So, when you're dealing with these dark forces, they're not turning their heads around and spitting at you. It's not as grandiose as Hollywood put it out there, but they did it that way to cause you to have fear. Do you understand? In reality, the energies that you are dealing with is a lot smaller, but they appear big. All right? No different than animals. Okay? You have a frog, pufferfish, stuff like that. You have certain animals that when they are being threatened, right? They puff up. They make themselves look big so they can intimidate you, okay? And once you are intimidated, you've already lost. Do you understand me? Anything that you give energy to in the spirit of fear, you've already lost. What you're going to have to do is look at it for exactly what it is, earthbound spirits. And because you're not earthbound, you're higher than them. But because you don't know it, they're having fun at your expense. See? Once you know it, you will see that they become fearful of you because you have snatched their power from them. We didn't come here to be fearful of anything. God has not given us a spirit of fear, but of love, power, and sound mind. Loose the fear in all of your everyday activities. Understand that death is not the end, but only the beginning. Understand that while you are here on this journey and you're completing this work, you're growing stronger every single day. Then face your devils and defeat them. I am Sophie, and I love you all.